Welcome to my presentation. In this presentation, let us look at some application problems related to proportions. Let us say you own 240 shares of stock in a company. The company declares a stock split of 5 shares for every 3 stocks owned. How many shares of stock will you own after the stock split? Sometimes the stock split. So this is what we have. And if this is the information we have, we want to be able to understand after the stock split how many shares we owe. So therefore, let us write this thing down in terms of ratios, the quantities which we know, and then also the quantities which we do not know. So as a first step, we will write it as a proportion. From this word problem, what we are reading is that for every 5 shares, let's write that as 5 shares, there is a 3 stock owned. 3 stocks owned. Let's write it that way. And that we will equate it to, if we have X number of shares, we will have X number of shares if we have 240 stock, stock which we own. So we can write that as a proportion like that. And once we have it in this type of a proportion, it is just a matter of simplifying using the proportions rule. And what is the proportions rule telling us? If we have two ratios, A over B, and if we have another ratio, C over D, and if one of these quantities is an unknown quantity, we can write this one as follows. We can write the product of the means is equal to the product of the extremes, like that. And then from here, using the addition, subtraction, or multiplication, division, as the case may be, we should be able to find the value of the unknown quantity. So in here, let us apply this proportions rule to the problem what we have. The problem what we have is, for every 5 shares, there is going to be a 3 stocks owned kind of a deal, 5 to 3 stock split. And if we own 240 shares, what is the number of shares we will have when the split happens? So we can write this as a proportion this way, and now we're going to multiply the means and extremes here, and when we do that, this is how it's going to come out. 5 times 240 is equal to 3 times x. We have used the proportions property. Now we are ready to use the division property to be able to simplify this particular problem and then find the value of x. So to do that, we're going to divide by 3 on both sides. 5 times 240 divided by 3 is equal to 3 times x divided by 3. As long as we have similar terms in the numerator and denominator, we can cancel them out. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 8 is 24, and then we have a 0 there. Therefore, the value of x here comes out as equal to 5 times 80 divided by 1. Therefore, the value of x is going to be equal to 400. So how do we tie it back into this problem? We'll write that as step number 4. In the step number 4, we are saying after the stock split, you own 400 shares. After the stock split, you own 400 shares. So this is the way we can apply the proportions property and also the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division division properties to be able to simplify these types of application problems. In my next presentation, we shall look at some more examples related to proportions.